This place is beautiful. Tell me how it all came about.
Stress came about. I've done yoga for years. It's actually just become a big part of my life ever since I had an injury from wrestling and completely rehabilitated my back. And so, true believer of yoga, enjoy doing it. I got to, when I traveled the world, traveling with the show, I actually popped in yoga studios all over the world. I thought, what a neat thing to actually, anywhere you go, you have this sort of like a community. You can meet up with people and they're doing this thing you're doing and you can chat about the same sort of thing. And, it kind of really resonated with me. And when I retired from wrestling in 2006, I was like, okay, what do I do next? And it simply came from a conversation. A friend of mine and I, we were talking, we were in high school together. We were like yoga friends, and we would talk yoga and then poses. I was like, yeah, you know what, one day I'd like to do that. And I really have to think about it, but I can't find the defining moment, which it became, let's do it today, and we just started thinking about, if I was to go and build a yoga studio, this is what I do, or I wish our yoga studio had this. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to do that. Good idea, ding. So we had a eureka moment, and and we decided to move forward. And I mean, also a convenient thing was that my husband's elder. Bonus. So so we had this is our first project together. Besides marriage, that's the project things as well. But yeah, and so we moved forward. This has been about a year from conversation to now, and it took 4 months of blood, sweat, and tears, different from the WWE blood, sweat, and tears, and ta-da!
Amazing. So you've touched on so many things that I want to touch on. I guess first of all, what's it like working with your husband?
Really good. People are like, ooh, you guys are going to be... But you know what? He's a home builder, and we built our own home for many years. We've built houses, and the thing is do the exterior, build it, and then I get to do the interior stuff, and it's fun, right? We kind of make it like this little thing. And here, it was neat to sort of take an idea in our head and go, like, I've seen something like this, I'm picturing this thing, and then really just putting it on paper and actually having it, come, it was like instant gratitude. It was a really great feeling, and just that we did it together. We're really proud that we did it together.
That's great. Now, I mean, people at home would probably be surprised to know that you showed up today with beautiful pillows. Like, you really are hands-on here.
Oh, yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that, because I have to be honest, when I first heard it, I just thought, oh, maybe she's lending her name to the project or something. This seems like your baby.
It absolutely is my baby. Yeah. And people said that too. Like my partner, my business partner, they say, oh, so she's gonna be there? It's like, oh, like, well, yeah, So I mean, it's like I practice yoga. This yoga is my life, right? So, but this whole project, like, I love design anyway. I've always enjoyed, design. As far as being involved, I'm talking like scraping the paint off of the tiles. And like me and my husband spent like nights here, not overnight, but tenant. We didn't spend overnight. We, and just, it literally was like, I think it's what it means so much to us, because like we knew we were, gonna sort of put everything into it, and that's kind of how I am. I feel like when I decide I want to do something, I'm like 100% gal. I kind of put it into, all effort into it. So that's me. Those are my pillows, and it's my lights, and yeah.
Now I understand that you're planning to teach here. So how will that work when people sign up to take a course, specifically sign up to take a course that's being taught by you?
Well, what I'll do is I'll teach classes, and it's funny, I'm a little selfish in the way that I say, like, I just kind of want to just enjoy my wonderful teachers and just take my own class, but eventually I know we'll do some like satisfaction classes or something like that, as we were talking about. But I met the best instructors in Toronto, and it was really great because there's a lot of instructors in Toronto, and we got some really great ones. And when we started telling them about the studio, because we've tried to make a practitioner studio, someone who, like, from a practitioner standpoint, this is what one would need. And so they really like that, and everyone's sharing the same gym, and it's really exciting just as a big team to do this. So I'll step into the teaching thing, but they are like total experts, and I like to just kind of do my thing, but I will teach as well. But definitely they're awesome teachers.
How often do you kind of see yourself being able to be here? I know you're a really busy person. You have your travel show, which we'll talk about in a second.
Pretty much every day. Because I practice every day, right? So I would be. Even in my crazy busy schedule, when I was back on the road with WWE or whatever, when I'm doing stuff, this is what keeps me centered, and this is what allowed me to go and do what I do out there. So I practice every day. So you've seen lounge area, right? So yeah, I'll be hanging out a lot.
And what about your husband? Is he been converted over?
Yeah, we're working on that. I think probably once we open up the doors, he's going to say, I don't hear yoga for I'll give him 2 weeks or so. But I'm going to try. I know he's realized and seen the actual the benefits. He's seen people be stressed and crazy, and then just been centered and calm. He's like, okay, so, and he's seen weight loss on people, and he's seen people become healthier and more aware of their bodies. So I'm slow but surely. I'll be getting there. We can do a follow up, and now present Rock Physico, the yogi.
Nice. Tell me a little bit about how exactly you sustained your injury in wrestling, what it was, and how yoga has helped you.
Okay, well, with wrestling, if you can imagine the motion, it's sort of like, it's kind of like getting whiplash like 4 to 5 to 6 times a night, every night for 4 nights a week, 7 years. So degenerative disc damage I had in my back, and it was just, the doctor kind of just said, that's what you have, and you know, one day it'll catch up with you. Like, thanks, bye. And one day, sure enough, it did. And it's just, over time, it's just, you know, I mean, there's really no off season with wrestling, so you kind of just keep going and you do what you do. And one day, I sat up and I was like, oh, I can't move, right? So we creatively got me through television, and I went to the therapy program and started getting I got my back on track, and it just wasn't coming. They were calling me saying, you know, when's your target to come back, and I just was not coming. So a friend of mine had an injury in rest as well. And she had said that Bikram yoga, which is a hot yoga, was the only thing that she can do physically that would really, it would help her. And she, finding it quite, with the pain, it was the only thing she could kind of ease into with the pain that she was feeling. So I said, okay, one day I was frustrated with this physiotherapy session. I walked into my first hot yoga class, and pretty much I was hooked ever since then, because it really, the heat, what it did for me when I was injured is it allowed me to move into and ease into poses. And then from there, it's funny because initially I stayed with it for the rehab purposes. I always got to be careful with the rehab because nowadays, physiotherapy purposes. And it was like kind of like I was doing for my body. And then it sort of takes a little bit more time. I mean, with time, it becomes mental, and it becomes something a lot more deeper. And like, not to get all like, not being all gossipy about it, or what is it, gospel about it. But it's like, it makes you more centered, kind of just grounds you. And you hear it, it's cliched sometimes, but it really does that. And with my schedule on the road, it was like, that was what allowed me to go, I was like, oh, stress missing a plane is just relax and do what you do, and do it well, and pop it out. And it really made a huge difference in my life, and it's stuck with me ever since.
Is your back 100%?
100%. Like, touch wood. Like, I mean, I couldn't. And you've seen some of my moves are quite acrobatic, and I'm doing a lot of sort of backward bending type motions and stuff. And not one single time has it flared up. And I'm just an amazing thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You said that you liked what it was doing to your body. I know a lot of celebrities talk about when they're asked, like, how do you get your hot bod? They always say, oh, I do yoga, I do this, that. What kind of changes have you noticed yourself, your body, how it's
probably just a leaner look than I had before. I had a lot of weight training done in the past and whatnot, so I have the muscle memory and sort of the foundation, I guess. And with the yoga, it just leans everything out, and kind of, I know it sounds weird when I heard it. She was like, what do you mean it makes you longer? But somehow it does. I mean, I'm still 5'4". But I look longer for some reason. It tones everything and just makes everything kind of tight and in check, and I should get older. That's what you want.
I'm turning 37 Sunday. I hear you.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. Wrestling has such amazing fans and such an amazing fan base. How are you planning to kind of manage the people that might come here more to see you as fans than because of their interest in yoga?
Well, it's funny. I used to always, this is a question to get in wrestling. People say, you're viewed as a sex symbol, so how do you feel about people you like that? And I always said, well, that's fine. They see me as a sex symbol, so that's how they approach me. And when I get to talking, I can keep them if their interest. So I kind of feel like maybe the same approach can be done here, where they're going to come and be like, oh, we get your autograph, say hi. And everyone, especially in Toronto, a huge fan base in Toronto, that like, they come out to everything I do in Toronto. It's fabulous. I come out and I encourage them to, hopefully try some yoga, and maybe they'll like it, or maybe we'll find some new yoga followers.